Hi, my name is Suzanne Cohen and I'm a lecturer in filmmaking at London Metropolitan University. Today I'm going to be focusing on documentary as this is my specialist area, and I'll be talking about why I'm passionate about it, what kinds of things documentary is really good at conveying, and the main techniques involved. And I'll be showing some examples of films that I've made in the past from my career and also some really excellent student films. I love storytelling and exploring characters and started my career working in animation. This is a film I made for Channel 4. It's a very dark story about a children's party game.
You're out, Petal. Come on, you sat down last. Out of the game, son.
I still use animation in my work, but I switched my focus to documentary because I wanted more involvement and interaction with people. Access to characters or locations is one of the biggest challenges in documentary filmmaking. In my film Beautiful Sentence, I was able to get permission to film in a women's prison. The film is about Leah Thorne, an inspirational poet who helps prisoners to achieve a kind of liberation through creative writing.
Hail falls like pearls off a broken necklace. Gorgeous. The sky explodes with lightning, like tons of fireworks going off at the same time. And you see, I've made breaks here, so because you've kind of got it in one bit. But again, these are all choices you can make.
Yeah.
Now here, as one's parents used to say, and then you can put it in italics, so it becomes very clear that they're saying it. Count the seconds till the thunder comes. So I want you, before I come tomorrow, have a look at it. What do you think works? What do you want to keep here? Maybe I've taken out some words. Because I have taken out a few words. Just where I thought that it would kind of tighten up a bit, but you get to decide. And then here, I decided your name is the most important, so I put that in bold and made that smaller. So, you got time to do that? Have a look at the two of them. Read it to other people, try it out on the officers. I think it's a fantastic poem. You should be really pleased with yourself.
Thanks very much.
Oh.
Sorry.
So, anything else you want to say about it? Or shall I just come back tomorrow and see what you think?
I just thank you for helping me. I really understand that I can do it, and you don't have to be a real genius to be able to write a poem.
The main technique I used was fly on the wall or observational filmmaking, which is really great at capturing the natural interactions between people. The results are very spontaneous, and it's a technique which really takes the viewer into the situation. Having the opportunity to go into new situations and environments is one of the things I really enjoy about making documentaries. Making this film genuinely challenged my perception of people in prison, and this is what I tried to convey. Documentary is really effective at challenging perceptions and stereotypes because it shows real people in real situations. And this is true of this student film, Stuart.
It's a good escapism. It's good for escaping. Take your mind off where you are, what's happening in the normal day-to-day. I don't have to be where I am. I can be anywhere. You know, I can be fighting spaceships one day and under the sea the next day, or knights in shining armour the next day battling for the princess's hand in marriage, or whatever the story is. I can make it up in my head.
This film challenges stereotypes by conveying Stuart's rich inner life, the joy he gets out of reading, and also the suggestion that he's no less content than you or I. It was challenging to make the film because Stuart didn't have a contact phone number, but the student was able to get to know and gain the trust of Stuart, who opened up about his life. The film is structured around a very strong audio interview, but what also makes it effective is the use of cutaways to observational footage, where not much is actually happening in the situation, so the use of close-ups and smoke. There is also a creative approach to visualising what's inside Stuart's head, so for example the drone footage at the start of the film. There are many different ways to make documentaries, and animation can be a very useful tool, particularly if you don't want to show the faces of the people being interviewed. This is a documentary I directed about vulnerable young people for the UK Social Services. The interviews are real. However, the characters don't look anything like the real people.
So why did you have a family group conference, do you think?
Because I was on the child protection plan, and it would help our family quite a lot to have what's good for us.
We sat down as a family and we just discussed about like particular subjects, like me being misbehaving, things like that. It just like helped me think about what I should do and what I shouldn't do.
I had a chance to say what I wanted as well at the meeting. I said that I want to move house so I can get my own bedroom, and my mum's trying to get another house now. And I said I still want to have contact with my dad.
Our plan was to build my attendance up and punctuality at school, same with my brother.
It was just like a nice, peaceful, private meeting in a nice, peaceful room.
Well, the food, it made me happy. I just looked at the food and I was just listening and eating.
It felt like, I got listened to, and I had my own say as well.
The film was specifically designed to be shown to young people at risk, to persuade them to get involved in family group conferencing. And the use of animation was intended to make the film more entertaining, humorous, and more comforting. I'm motivated to make films that could make a difference. This film was used to promote family group conferencing all over the world. And the film I made in the women's prison, Beautiful Sentence, was shown in Parliament, festivals and at international conferences to argue the case for funding for the arts in prison. The interview is an essential element in most documentaries. In a sit-down interview, the subject has the opportunity to express their emotions and point of view directly to the interviewer on camera, which can be very powerful. This is a student film called Roots about adoption. The filmmaker interviews his parents about their experience of adopting him. The camera is then reversed and we hear his viewpoint.
¿Cuáles fueron tus motivaciones para adoptar?
Primero que nada, el término adopción lo detesto, porque la gente adopta animales, va a refugios de perros. Y para mí las personas son personas, y mis hijos son mis hijos.
¿Qué sentiste la primera vez cuando viste a tu hijo adoptado?
Adopción no quiero en esta entrevista. Para mí, ver mi hijo fue lo mismo que cualquier persona. Nerviosismo, esperanza, cosquilleos en el estómago y proyectos directamente.
Another brother and a sister. Tell us something about them.
They get different color, like you are white, they are white. I'm black. I think the color doesn't make a family. What is making a family? It is the feeling, the emotion, the love that you get for them.
It wasn't easy for the filmmaker to open up and make a documentary about such a personal issue, but I'm glad he did. The film is very special because it is charged with genuine emotion. And because it's the filmmaker's own story, it feels very intimate. There's something very powerful about real people sharing stories that other people can connect with. The key to this film's success are the universal themes that it conveys. Reenactment or dramatic reconstruction is an exciting documentary technique. Why would you use reenactment? Because the event wasn't filmed, or perhaps it couldn't have been filmed. In this student documentary called Blurring, the filmmaker puts the audience inside the head of someone who's losing their eyesight, using effects and GoPro footage.
Public transportation had become a real nightmare for me. So, where do I need to go? Oh dear, I have to change too. Whatever, let's go. I'm glad they have that special flooring for blind people, otherwise I might easily fall in front of a train. It took me ages, but I managed to get on the final train to my doctor. I'm glad nobody's offering me a seat. That means they don't notice my vision issue, and they shouldn't. It's pretty annoying though that I can't check my messages on my phone.
The filmmaker acts out experiences based on her interviews with people who've been affected by this condition. This film demonstrates how drama and documentary techniques can cross over. The documentary comes to a dramatic conclusion.
My vision will never come back. Soon I will be blind. How should I survive in this world without any help? I need to bring this to an end. There's no other way out. No. There must be a way out. I've never given up and I will not now. On Google search I found an aid organization for blind people offering courses for living with blindness. I decided to call them. The people there were really helpful and gave me new hope. I would learn how to manage life under my new circumstances. But they also told me that it is mandatory to tell my family about it. So I agreed to visit my parents. I wouldn't hide my disability anymore and learn to be open for help. There will always be someone for me. This is not the end.
Is this a documentary? This is open to debate. In fact, the representation of reality is one of the main debates within documentary filmmaking. And the use of techniques like animation in documentary is also controversial. I hope you've enjoyed this brief introduction to documentary, why I got into it and the main techniques involved, and I hope it inspires you to look at some different ways of approaching documentary filmmaking.